I'm going to run through a video today on a conversion that we're doing on a 2004 Ford F-350 single rear wheel truck. This truck is going to be converted to a dually truck, and we're going to use two adapters to accomplish that. Number one, we're going to be using a Ford part for the front end. This adapter will allow us to not only increase the track width to match the dually as it would be from the factory, but it also allows us to go from the original 170 millimeter bolt pattern that was available on the single rear wheel truck to a later model 17-inch wheel which went to the 200 millimeter bolt pattern. This is also true of the rear wheel dually conversion adapter. It will also take us from that 170 millimeter bolt pattern up to the 200 millimeter and also get us to a dually setup. Stay tuned. So we're going to start by talking about preparation for this adapter to go on. As you can see, we're installing new rotors on this rear assembly before we go to the adapters. I'm going to just take this off so I can point out this. Around the hub is the ring that will be centering the adapter off of. The first land that you see here is where the rotor goes, so there's some thickness there that you don't have to worry about. I was able to get that rotor on and off pretty easily. It's this second shoulder that we want to be concerned with. This has to be completely cleaned off in order for our adapter to go onto this sort of easily. It's machined really closely, and we don't want to upset that machining. We want this adapter to be centered on that land. But if you've got a used truck, as we have here, this had a lot of corrosion built up on it. What I was able to do, instead of having to pull all the studs and maybe even the axle, I took a sanding belt and just used that as a means to clean off that land. I just went all the way around this thing until I got it down to bare metal. So I've test fit this before, and I'm able to get that adapter on now. So we're going to go ahead and reinstall the rotor. And then we're going to take the adapter and install that. You'll notice the smaller bolt pattern on the inside there. That's the one that we're going to shoot for. So that lands on that second land, as we saw before. That's a really nice fit. That's exactly what we want. These nuts get installed on the inside studs, and these you're going to want to put a little bit of Loctite on. So we've installed the inner dual. This is the later model 17-inch wheel. This is going on the new adapter. Again, it's a piloted center hub-centric. This is the 200 millimeter bolt pattern, which differs from the 170 millimeter original stock pattern for the single rear wheel on the 2004 model. This is the LT 245 75 17-inch tire. So we're going to look at the relationship when we put the second dual on between the tires, and also we're going to look and see what this spring dimension is from the inside of this dual. So from the sidewall you can see we're about 2 3/4 of an inch to the spring, and just a little bit over 1 3/4 to the spring pad. So now we have the outside dual installed. We're able to use the existing lug nuts that came on the single rear wheel. You can specify what thread pitch you want from wheeladapters.com for those adapters, and we matched our original lug nuts. Again, center hub, centric wheel, pilots right off that center. If you come up to the top, you can see the relationship between the duals, just like factory. Okay, we're going to look now at the front end and the conversion that we're doing for adapting this truck to the dually conversion. This is the original stock wheel. We took some dimensions from the inside of the rim, or where the rim flange is, to the spring. That runs about 9 1/4 inches. This is the dimension from the sidewall of the tire. These are the LT 245 16s. It's about 8 1/4 inches. This is the front adapter hub that comes from Ford. This is the wheel mounting side. This is the same adapter. This is the exposed portion where the new wheel will bolt on to the front end. We're using metric nuts. I've used some steel flat washers, some hardened steel flat washers on the back sides of those, and you're able to install those nuts and washers very easily between the gap there. You'll see in the next photo we have a hole that allows you to access a socket assembly through. That's about a 6-inch extension that runs through the hole, and then you engage the socket and you're able to tighten these up. We used a piece of wood, a 2x4 in this case, to wedge in between the studs so that we could adjust those torque specs without the wheel turning. This is what it looks like with the new 17-inch wheel in place on the adapter studs. And if you look down the sidewall of the truck, this is a straight-on view. This shows the offset of the wheel so that it matches a factory dual situation from a single rear wheel, single rear truck design.